Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome back to 5 Zeros Supercars. Now I'm here today to drive something very, very special. But you can come along and have a look at the cars and enjoy the cafe for yourself. It's open to members of the public for free, but they have a membership scheme. If you join, you can download an app through which you can book all of your tickets to the various events that they run, and you get 20% off your tickets, but you also get 20% off any purchases in the cafe, which includes this delicious latte. Let me just finish this up. And we'll go and have a look at the car we're driving today because it's very, very special. Follow me. Now, every time I come here, I drive something really special, and we've been planning the summer's cars. And in a few months' time, I'm going to be driving these two beauties from Lamborghini, the Aventador and the Murcielago. Back to back, which of those V12s is going to sound the best? Now, last time I was here filming, the car we're driving today was actually parked in that corner. It's another Italian beauty. From the same stable as this beautiful 812 Superfast. I am absolutely obsessed with the spec of that car. Dark green, over tan interior. There is the beautiful 8C. Hopefully you've watched that video by now. If not, I'll put a link above and in the video description. Check that out. What a privilege it was to drive that car. But today I'm driving another red Italian sports car, and one of my absolute favorites from Maranello, the Ferrari 348. I love these things. This car has such an interesting story that actually includes me. I think this is maybe one of the most misunderstood Ferraris. There's lots of negativity around this car, and I've never really bought into that. I've always really liked them. They were made from 1989. It actually replaced the Ferrari 328, and they were made all the way up to 1995 when they were then replaced by the 355. And this is a late car. This is a 1984 car. I'm one of a very small number of right-hand drive manual cars. It is a beautiful example. I've always loved them. I think as a boy watching TV, I think the whole Magnum PI driving the 308, I've been very lucky to be able to drive one of those. Miami Vice driving the white Ferrari Testarossa. But there's a film, it was a remake of an original film with Harrison Ford in it called Sabrina. And in that film, one of the characters, David Larrabee, drives around in a 348 Spider in exactly the same spec as this. And I've always loved that film and always loved the car. But I have a bit of a tie-in with this car that when I first saw it parked up here at 5 Zeros, I didn't realize. This car was at Salon Prive last year, and on the club day at Salon Prive, I was judging with Lockton Performance all of the various winners of the different clubs. And this was one of the two Ferraris put forward by Ferrari Owners Club. And my job as a Lockton judge was to then take those different Owners Club cars and put forward the car that was going to win the club trophy. And I was a big fan of this car, and the owner, Kevin, has even bought the trophy along with him today. So that is my tie-in with this car. But I'm going to go and put that away in the corner because it's very heavy and I don't want it anywhere near the car in case I drop it. It's a truly beautiful thing to look at, styled by Pininfarina. But this was also the last car that was manufactured under the eagle eye of Enzo Ferrari himself before Enzo Ferrari passed away. It's a beautiful thing. I wanted to start off at the front because there is a feature on the front of this car that I am totally obsessed with, but unfortunately is no longer allowed due to safety regulations we have to live with, and that is pop-up headlights. I've always loved pop-up headlights. I've had 3 cars with pop-up headlights. And what I love about it is with the lights down, the front is so sleek and aerodynamic, but then when they pop up, they just look so cool. So yes, love that. Come round the side of the car. There are a few things I want to talk about. I guess the first thing is I want to talk briefly about wheels and tires. First up, this wheel design is one of my favorites on any Ferrari. I've always loved it since I was a kid. But the wheels are only 17-inch wheels. If you compare that, there's a Pista just behind camera that's running on 20s, but it doesn't look like the wheels are that small. But then this car's also on modern day rubber, on Michelin Pilot Sport 4 rubber. Look at the nice big chunky sidewall. It's going to have a lovely ride quality. I would love to do a side-by-side comparison between a 348 on its original in-period rubber from 1994 to our current latest and greatest from Michelin. If you come down the side, the next standout design feature has to be these beautiful strakes on the door, very much inspired by the Testarossa. Now, the Testarossa for me, an iconic car, but I was never a massive fan. I was much more of a fan of the F40. This is almost like a kind of slightly dialed back Testarossa. I've always liked the styling, and then those strakes continue around the back of the car on the rear lights. I'm not so sure I'd want to PPF the car, that would be a nightmare, or even clean it, to be honest. But that's to do with where the oil coolers are, and they've been moved back to be here. And in the day, what that meant was the car was a little bit wider than its predecessors, but it's still narrow compared with anything from today. I was driving a 296 GTS not that long ago, and that's such a wide car. This looks dinky in comparison. I love the way you have to kind of put your hand under there and then put your thumb in here to open the door. I'll open the door because we've got the roof down, really, so you can have a nice view inside. The car looks beautiful, roof up or roof down. It's a manual roof, and Kevin, the owner, kind of showed me how to put the roof down.
Hand in the middle.
Yeah.
Because typical 80s Ferrari, and it's single push.
Oh wow.
Back. You've got the lever just down there.
Okay, this is the best thing ever.
It goes on here just to finalise it.
Up,
Other way. Yep,
like that?
Perfect.
Yeah.
Just pull straight down to lock it in place.
No way.
And it should go behind my seat.
Push that down like that.
And it's down. And you have spider.
Who knew? But what I wanted to show you, have a look at this. So a couple of things on the inside. Firstly, the handbrake is on the right-hand side of the driver's seat, just to clean up that central console. But then there's this little tool that's just with a little leather clasp. And I'm like, what on earth is that? And this connects to this little lever just here. And it's basically there to help me tension the roof. So when you put the roof down, you tension it to make sure it's sat right down properly. And then there's a tonneau cover that can go over that as well. But I just love that. Can you imagine something like that in a modern day car? It's just never going to happen. Even though it's a manual process, you can still drop the roof quicker than you can in a Spider RS from Porsche. Beautiful thing. We've got to look at the engine, right? The main event. Just pop this door open. I wanted to just point this out. Look at that little light there. I mean, that's actually quite forward-thinking safety. That's just to warn passing motorists that the door is open. But the rear boot release latch is just there. So under here, we have a 3.4 litre V8. It's quad cam, quad valve per cylinder, and it's producing, in the early cars, around 300 horsepower. With this being a later car, it's around 320 horsepower. Now, I mentioned about Kevin kind of rescuing this car and doing a lot of work to bring it up to standard. And a lot of that work's been done here. The engine's been out, it's had all its belts changed, it's had all of the servicing done, significant amount of work. Lots of the rust and other corrosion issues of cars of this vintage have all been dealt with. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing in here. Interestingly, the car is dry sumped, so if you want to check the oil, you can only do that with the engine running. And there's a lovely little sort of Ferrari header tank there, and you've got the dipstick in there while the engine's running. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing. Now, the gearbox in this is a 5-speed manual with an iconic Ferrari open-gated shift. It's a dog leg first, left and bottom for first, and then up you go through the gears. But a beautiful, beautiful thing. Everything in here is original, including those beautiful quad tips for the exhaust, which should sound sonorous once we get out on the road. Doesn't get much more iconic than this. Crema leather, red carpets. The steering wheels are back in this vintage are just so plain. There's nothing on them, just the nice Ferrari crest in the middle. Driving position wise, surprised how much room there was. I was expecting it to be a little bit cramped. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be able to go back another 2 or 3 inches, and my feet are kind of canted off to the left a little bit. But you've got these beautiful aluminium pedals, very racing inspired. But for me, the cockpit is dominated by this central gear shifter, this open gate, the kind of chrome ball is just a beautiful thing. As I said, it's dog leg, so back and to the left for first, then into second, and that's very much racing inspired. The thinking is you don't really need first apart from pull away, and then on a kind of tight road you're kind of just between second and third, which is a nice straight change, hence the dog leg. There's all of the kind of various climate controls just there. There's a stereo hiding behind here, but in this car for me the stereo is a V8 behind my ears. I noticed Kevin's left the rosette from Salon Prive just there, and also I have a co-driver which I absolutely love. He's really cool. So I think the next thing we need to do is go for a drive in a Ferrari 348, because a couple of things. Firstly, I'm expecting soundtrack to be amazing. Anybody who's ever driven one of these says they sound amazing. Secondly, there's no power steering, so I'm expecting it to be pretty heavy to start with, but once it's underway, apparently the steering is amazing. But yes, I just love it in here, don't you? Absolutely beautiful. I'm quite glad I've got the roof off, because I'm not that tall in the body, but I can feel that if I did have the roof up, I'll probably be kind of struggling for space a little bit. Too cool. Boyhood dream about to come true again, thanks to YouTube and the lovely owner Kevin. So I've got an immobiliser on the car, so I have to push that first to disengage the immobiliser, and we'll go for a cold start in neutral. Oh. Heavy unassisted steering. Wow. Here we go, out into the sunshine in a Ferrari 348. So this is a bit of a baptism of fire. On our way out to find some nice roads, to do some tracking shots and those types of things, through a fairly busy little village. And I'm having to get my head around the bite point of the clutch. The clutch itself is quite light, but the throttle pedal's quite heavy. And then in the back of my head, I'm just constantly saying, dogleg gearbox, dogleg gearbox. Because first is obviously to the left and then back towards me. And in modern day manuals, it's so often not the case. So there's first there, and your muscle memory kind of is to put it like that, which would be a bad thing. Steering is very heavy when you're just maneuvering, but you only need to be doing like 5 or 10 miles an hour, and it lightens up completely and feels like it's power assisted. It's absolutely no worries whatsoever. So it's literally just the maneuvering around car parks and stuff. But I've got to say, I haven't opened her up yet. I'm still waiting for things to come up to temperature, still getting my head around the car. But the noise coming out of that V8 is just epic. Here we go. Out on some open road with no cars. The first thing is this gearbox has taken a little bit of getting used to, but in the towns you're not really stretching the legs of that V8 behind. You're not really hearing that sonorous roar. I mean, honestly, it's just awesome. The pedals are nicely spaced. I'm not heel and toeing because the brakes do need quite a firm push to get them working. There are no driver aids on this car at all. Actually, no, I'm lying. There's one bit of electronics, ABS. Apart from that, totally up to me. That change from oh my God. That change from first to second is the one I'm really putting the effort in to make sure I nail it. Third into second is a much easier straight up. It's the advantage of that dogleg box. But the noise this thing makes, oh. Now once you've got some speed, this steering lightens up and starts to communicate with you. Oh my God, what a wonderful car already. Longer, just a little bit of float at the front. Wow, I mean, wow. It's hard not to just drive around with a moronic grin on my face, to be honest. Now, I have driven a 308 before, and that was a beautiful thing, but I didn't feel like I could push it quite as much as this. While we just kind of calm down and come through, got a car in front, come down into this little village. Kevin, the owner, bought this car from a specialist, and first off, took it to a main dealer who he knows really well, because he's got a nice collection of Ferraris. He's got a 488, he's got a Cali T, and yesterday he was in Italy, Maranello, speccing his new 12 Cilindri Spider, having watched my video, of course. So he took it to the main dealer and said, look, just look over the car and let me know what needs doing. And one of the delightful things they found underneath the car was a plank of wood that had been painted black and stuck on the underside of the car by the previous owner to hide the rust, which is just not good. It's the kind of thing I expected when I bought my Mark 1 Fiesta when I was a kid. Oh my goodness me. Now this bit here, this is where it starts to be a little bit more tricky, because the clutch point, especially on here, so this fly-off handbrake takes some getting used to as well. Oh, look at that. What a hill start. Yes. Here we go. Oh my days. And what a day for it. What a beautiful, beautiful day for it. I can't really think of better weather to drive this car. Looking at the speedo, it's only done, well, it's just coming up to 33,000 miles. There you go, there's that. That's to be so careful. First into second. Now there is a protector on the reverse, but you don't really want to be, I don't want to be trying that out to see how effective it is on a day like today. But the thing I love about the car is the level of engagement I've got, the level of concentration to make sure each gear change is spot on, to position the car on the road, and the amount of power I've got behind. 320 horsepower is the same as modern day hot hatch, really. But back in the day, this was supercar territory. I think it would do about 166 miles an hour at the top end, and the 0 to 60 time was only about 6 seconds. It wasn't a massively fast car. When you get it on a nice bit of flowing road, it's just so communicative. It's just talking to you all day long. It's talking in Italian, mind. Luckily, I speak fluent Italian. Hey! Oh, dear me. Hey! I've got to say, sitting where I am right now, I'm struggling to comprehend why this car got such a hard time back in the day. There's that famous story of Luca de Montezemolo apparently took one of these from the factory and drove it and brought it back and basically just said it was a right shitbox and never ever liked the car. It was almost doomed from that point on. And I guess it was replaced by, at the time, the best car Ferrari had ever made. And looking back, even with kind of the rose-tinted glasses of modern day era Ferraris, the 355 was a magnificent car. And the dash in the 355 isn't a million miles off of this. It was an evolution of this car. They cleaned up the exterior styling, I guess. They got all the strakes removed from the doors. And that's next on my list. Now this, the 348, you could argue that this used to be the entry into Ferrari ownership for many people, the affordable modern day classic. You could pick them up for not silly money, maybe 40 or 50,000 quid. You might even be able to pick up an example for that now. But you probably need to be prepared to have an extra budget of maybe 15 to 20,000 pounds to make it a really good one, to sort the engine out, to get all the belts done and to get that engine running sweetly, to sort out any of the corrosion issues. And once you do that, you're going to end up with a beautiful car. Oh, tunnel! Oh. Ooh. I'm in a 20. I'm just pulling away at in second gear in a 20, and it does that. And I think maybe that's the bit that modern day Ferraris have just become so good. They've got so much power, they're so fast, they're so easy to drive, that they almost lose a bit of that soul. You have to be driving them quite a long way into their performance envelope before they really come alive. This is making me smile and sending shivers down my spine at 20 miles an hour in second gear. When it comes on cam, about 3,500, 4,000 RPM, it just starts to clear its throat and it just sounds magnificent. I've been in the car quite a long time now, and actually, it's pretty comfortable. But it's just the kind of car. Oh, it's the kind of car that if you had this in your garage and the sun was shining, you just, whatever the plans you had for that day, you'd shelve them. You'd take the keys off your key hanger and you'd go for a drive. And you'd just disappear into another world. Another world of clickety-clack gear changes and a V8 on full chat. And my little teddy bear, Michael Schumacher, next to me, making sure I look after the car. And all will be good in the world. That, ladies and gentlemen, is intoxicating. Absolutely, genuinely intoxicating. Once more. I can't. Honestly, The emotions that stirs in me are difficult to describe, and anyone who doesn't get cars would just not understand. The vast majority of you will, though. That noise, it's not a noise, it's a feeling, it's an emotion, and it's on the top end of the Richter scale of emotions. As it builds, this engine just builds and starts to wail and starts to scream, and half of you, your body's telling you, no, change gear, you can't rev it any more than that, it can't go any more than that, and you look at the rev counter and you're only at 4.5, and you go, let it have a bit more, give it a bit more, and then you get to like 6 and you're like, it's still got 1500 RPM left. Ooh. So I've been very privileged now to drive quite a few cars of this vintage, and firstly I have to say a massive thank you to Kevin, the owner, for the trust in letting me give you guys access to this car. It's a total and utter privilege to drive cars like this. And he came to 5 Zeros today and gave me a good walk around the car and briefed me around the car, and he said, look, it's been fully serviced, it's done, the engine's in tip-top nick, go for it, open her up, let her run, rev her through. And that's a really special thing to be able to do. And sometimes when you're driving the older cars like this, my mechanical sympathy takes over, and I start to worry about whether or not the engine is okay to do that. And sometimes that puts you off and holds you back, and sometimes the car kind of tells you, you can kind of feel it in the car. It's like, oh, I'm not happy with you doing what you're doing. This is just saying, come on then, have a bit. First and second, be careful. And then 5, 6, 7, 500 RPM left. And it just keeps asking you, begging you to drive it. And the more you drive it, the more sonorous that engine is. Now, what I need to kind of couple that with is, for me, the brakes on modern cars are so good. And although this car's got ABS, you have to be really quite firm with the brakes. And I've no doubt that they would stop you, but I think your brain and muscle memory gets so used to modern car brake feel that sometimes you kind of rely on it. And I wouldn't want to push this car too hard now, because I still don't understand how the car stops. I don't understand the brake feel, and that for me would be very important. But as you get the higher speed corners, the steering comes alive, it starts to talk to you. Again, you kind of forget what unassisted steering feels like. It's got such a lovely feel to it. It's got a lightweight, certainly when you're going anything over like 10, 15 miles an hour, it lightens up and it starts to talk to you. And it's got a lovely feel. Sometimes modern cars, I think, are over-assisted and they almost become numb. They're brilliant and sharp and pointy and all that, but they don't talk to you, they don't let you know what's happening at the front end of the car. This is giving me loads of feedback, loads of information. The other thing I'm really liking about this car is it's not ridiculous amounts of horsepower. So it feels to me like you can really kind of get on it, chase after it a little bit. Whereas in something like a 296 GTS, here we go. 296 GTS, you got over 800 horsepower, and you're going to jail in second gear. This has less power than my Boxster had. I want to say a massive thank you to my good friend Marcus and to Sarah for coming out and helping with the filming. I've known Marcus for a long time now. We first met on a drive tour many years ago. He's the guy flying the drone, and he's the guy helping hold my camera, and just so amazing to have two people helping make these films, because I just think it makes the content more professional looking and a richer thing on the eye for you guys, but also we have such fun. Now this car lives at 5 Zeros, so if you've got a nice car and you've not got the space to keep it at home, or you've got a collection, and you live in the Bath area, then why not chat to Five Zeros about car storage? Because this car lives at Five Zeros. They'll look after it for you, keep it clean, turn the wheels, make sure the engine's started and the battery's charged, and whenever you want to drive it at the weekend, you just give them a call and they can get your car ready for you and you can take it out for a spin. But I'm on my way back now. I'd love to know what you guys think of the 348. What's your favourite old school Ferrari? I think 355 is right up there for me. I've never driven one. So if any of you've got a 355, preferably a manual, I think there's only 68 right-hand drive manual 348s. I don't know how many right-hand drive manual 355s there are, but I'd love to get my hands on a 355. But if you enjoyed that film, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. The next time I'm at Five Zeros, I have such a special car. All I'm going to say is it's around about £1 million, I think. In what world did that ever happen? But if you think that's a lot of money, you wait till the car that's coming in kind of July, August time. Because hopefully I'm going to drive my first hypercar. But for now, I'm quite happy pootling along in this wonderful Ferrari 348 Spider. What a sensational car. What a sensational day. Kevin, thank you so much. From Salon Prive as a judge to driving it in the sunshine. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. In what world did I ever think that would happen? Oh no, look. I've got some open road. Let's finish this film with a nice bit of National 60. Clickety clack. Oh my God. What a car. What a car.